Chuchot says, "Tell it." And one of the people with him says, "This one came to us days ago, seeking news, seeking one such as you," points at Ferret, "wanting to know where he was, wanting to know what he carried, wanting to know anything. Offering," and he uses that word, he snarls, "offering reward. Do you understand?" says this particular warrior to Ferret.
Amen. Nod, and I say, "But I do not know this man."
Had says, "I'm doing nothing wrong. I have been paid, and I seek news."
Then I say, I turn a moment to the Jada. I say, "Jada, do I have permission to question this man?"
She says, "You may speak." The warriors all step back and away from Had. They look at, does Ferret have any of his weapons with him at the moment, or are they just stacked up somewhere?
No, they are with my stuff.
Right. In which case, they don't give him a weapon. They step back, and Had, instantly feels the change in body language and suddenly realizes that he's got freedom of movement. And instantly, his whole posture changes. He, walks with some grace, closer so that you and he are sort of right there in front of Chuchot. But you'll notice that he measures the distance between you with his eyes quite carefully. And he turns and looks and says, "Just come on home. She'll be happy to see you. She's been worried."
And I nod at him and say, "Are we talking about Sesiva?"
Yes. Sesiva is worried. She wants to know where you are. For some reason, she contacted people that she knows, people who are well-traveled, people who are respected. That implication completely goes over all the Dusters' heads. When he said respected, he's talking like a mafia guy.
Yeah.
Right. And so he says, people who can get the information that she wants. I mean you no harm.
I am sure you mean well, and I hope you don't find me rude. That I don't mean to imply you are not a respectable person if I ask you if you have any proof that it's her that sends you.
I would not want any such proof to come into hands of such people as I might meet. I speak openly here in front of the Jada because I've heard her words and because I see no reason to lie to you. But if you're carrying what she sought, then there are many who would leave you face down in the dirt and skin your companions for their hides.
I see that.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me repeat that for Helma. There are many who would kill you for what you carry and would leave you to bleed in the dirt, and who would leave your companions without their skins to die in the night. Some of them are Duster tribes, the ones who oppose the great tribes of the river, like the quail and the jackal. Tribes that want order and peace, tribes that want to prosper. He turns and looks at Chuchult and says, "I bring no harm to this man. And he said, but what he carries goes back where I come from with me. If he wants to come with it, he is welcome. And you know, great Jada, that this is only to your benefit. All this time, you know how a person will put the weight on their feet in slightly different ways? The weight on his feet is a little bit forward on his feet. There's no weight on his heels. They don't actually lift up high off the ground. There's no weight on his heels. He's very relaxed around the shoulders. You are never out of his vision. Right? A nasty sight. He's speaking calmly, but you're streetwise enough to know that this is a guy who's very capable of ready violence.
And do I see if he's carrying any weapon?
You see no weapon on him.
Yeah. Okay.
And he does look as though he's been kind of under the Dusters, control. I mean, this is the kind of guy who would probably keep a concealed weapon, but the Dusters have probably taken care of that.
Okay, I will look back.
So he says, I repeat to you the chief. I repeat to you the Jada's question. What will you do with the sands you carry? Reward,
as I was saying,
reward awaits you.
This is not about reward. I said I would give the sands to Sasiva, and I do plan to honor that promise, and it's not a bargain. And I make sure that I say this in a way that is significant to the innuendo that was going on before. I try to put some weight on the idea that is offering trade, and I'm trying instead to say this is something I'm giving, this is not about reward. And but you will realize that I wouldn't be respectable if I just gave what I have to the first stranger who knows about just the name of the person I took an obligation with.
He says,
and then the
so
goods didn't arrive.
So you will return to her.
I will.
He nods and says, I'm satisfied. We will have plenty of time to get to know each other on your way back.
I say that is possible, but I have to honor the hospitality I've been given here, and I will leave when the Jada says she is fine with everything she wanted to know.
She says, the spirits will tell us. Oh man, I'm so ready for the spirits.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I'm going to shift. I can't. I know we should probably finish. It's getting pretty late, but let's go ahead and move into the initiation of the next thing. The shaman is brought, and while he is a little bit whiny and a little bit disoriented, he's not literally causing a scene or anything like that, and seems to be okay. As it's getting quite late. It's coming up to midnight now, and the various dusters are getting a little bit upset. They want, this was not how they planned on spending their evening, and the situation is extremely unusual. So as soon as Tikeft is brought, and he is an older duster, very thin and very old, and is not being manhandled or pushed around or anything like that, but is definitely not, not very happy at being awake this late, and is they have given him a cape of some kind of cloth to keep him warm. He's very duster looking, wearing with shaman markings and things like that. But he has this human cape on that's keeping him warm. He's holding in front of him, and so he is. But when he is brought, Chuchot then speaks to him with great respect, perhaps to Athasha's relief. She says the right things that you say to a shaman, that the spirit world is yours. You watch over us. We rely on you. You are a great one. You are. We are the hands. We are the hunters. We are the warriors. We are the keeper, the mothers and the fathers, and you are our memory. Yes.
I get up and greet him as respectfully as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a very small thing, in the process when they bring him here and so people are a bit distracted, I will take a moment to turn to Itasha and say something on the like of, please give me a hand here, because this thing is going crazy.
And yeah, I don't know if Tasha just picked up how threatening this guy is.
Yeah. I'm guessing.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But she's not really worried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I imagine that. But I still would say
not about him, at least.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so when Tikeft turns to to Ithasha and holds out his old hand and then says to you, daughter of earth, the sands move through you, the rocks speak. And he says, so he begins to do this, and then he stops and appears to start choking, like absolutely, literally choking, and unable to breathe, and his knees go weak, and everyone is looking at him in shock, and somebody comes up to support him a little bit, and he looks up and his eyes are full of terror, and he's starts to scream. The reaction of the dusters is pretty strong. They are Chuchot raises one hand and every single weapon is readied. And some of the dusters are terrified. They are backing away. Some of them have just lost their nerve and have started to back away. Had, if it is all possible for him, if nobody's really keeping an eye on him, will not be present. You'll look again and he's gone, unless you want to say otherwise or make an observation roll.
I was keeping my eyes. It was the most meaningful threat, but I will make my roll, but it's pitiful.
All right, let's see.
No, it's not a
right. So upon looking at Tikeft and his strong reaction, you suddenly remember, wasn't I supposed to be keeping my eye on Had? And then you turn and look, and sure enough, you should have been. Right.
Yes.
And so then...
I will at least look at the bags. Right. Anyway.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, they're there. So what will the others of you do? Verselk?
I guess I'm just watching in fascination. Yeah, I don't know what else I could do.
Well, I will tell you that Alchemev has a suggestion. Right. He does something that's not very human in its body language, but is a very communicative thing for dusters. He stands next to you in such a way that there is full contact from about the middle calf all the way up through the front of his shoulder, full contact of his body on yours. which is an intimate. It actually mimics the physicality of snakes when they're socializing. Right, it actually mimics that, and is almost. It's not openly sexual, but it's a little bit like certain kinds of hugs between people are a little more than just a handshake, right? So, so he does that, and he says, "Run." Come with, he says, "Come with me, run." So he's booking, he's getting out of there, and he wants you to come with him.
I'll go with him, sure. Yeah.
All right then.
This shit is crazy.
And then Ithasha, what are you going to do?
I'm kind of shocked. I realized that his reaction probably has to do with me, but I really can't figure out what is happening. So I'm basically backing off, but I'm still standing there, just trying to give him room to maybe get comfortable again, because I have no idea what's happening.
Okay.
But I'm not going to run or anything. I will leave if anybody sends me away, but I will not signal that I'm kind of fleeing. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm making sure that nobody thinks I'm going to threaten them in any way.
I see.